Welcome to Real Dudes Podcast. I'm your host, Carrington, and today I'm all alone, so I don't have all my co-hosts here with me, but fear not, I do have a very special guest with me today. He and his team actually reached out to us. They wanted to talk about a fantastic game that they have in the works, and I'm excited to see where this project is going to lead to. So with me I have here the CEO of Scarecrow Studios, Jan. Jan, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you, and thanks for the nice intro.
Oh, you're very welcome. When you guys reached out to us, we all got really excited because the game you're making, which we'll get into a little bit later, it's kind of a throwback to classic gaming, which is what we're all suckers for. So tell us a little bit about yourself and Scarecrow Studios.
Okay, I'm Serra. I'm the head of Scarecrow Studio, and I used to work in engineering for like 15 years. And around 2016, I think around Christmas, I decided to quit engineering and do something funnier. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, I wrote a story. It took me a few months, like 4 months. And after writing it, I thought it would be cool to put it into a game, no? And at first I had many ideas. I wanted to do it in 3D. And then I saw that with the budget I could afford and the size of the team I could afford, that could not be possible. So I always loved point and click games. So I decided, why not? Let's do a point and click game, but fixing some of the things that I think are wrong with the old ones.
Fair enough. What, in your opinion, what was wrong with the older ones that you're trying to fix that's bringing something new to the table with this game that you're making right now?
Something that I think that puts people off of these kind of games is that sometimes the puzzles don't make sense. And I was reading a lot about this and watching a lot of videos and reading a lot of like critics on other games, and people were commenting some kind of puzzles like, I cannot believe how they expect me to think that I should do this and stuff. So that's the first. Well, it's mainly one of the biggest ones, and then I also wanted to make a very interesting story that normally I see that the non-playable characters have not a lot of importance in these kind of games. So I wanted to create one where the main character is important, but the NPCs are also equally important.
Very nice, very nice. And what's the name of the game? I don't think we've mentioned it yet.
The game is 3 Minutes to Midnight.
And could you give us a little bit of background about 3 Minutes to Midnight as far as maybe a general story so we can all get a grasp of what it's about?
Okay, I'm going to try to tell it without making spoilers. 3 Minutes to Midnight is it's a story that happens around the late 40s in the United States, in New Mexico. Mm-hmm. And the story revolves around the main character, Betty Anderson, who she will find herself and the rest of her town without memories. At first, they will be like puzzled for this situation. They will try to figure out what's going on. And then the situation is going to start to get more complicated. So the more you will discover in this game, the more puzzled you'll be. But I promise at the end, it makes perfect sense, everything. So what else I can tell you? Let me think. You will be able to play with 2 characters. Okay. I cannot tell you how this change from characters is going to happen because I don't want to make a spoiler. But you will play with 2 very cool characters. One is Betty, and the other one is her mom, Eliza.
Well, thank you for telling us a little bit about the game 3 Minutes to Midnight without spoiling too much. Where did this idea for 3 Minutes to Midnight come from? The story itself. How were you inspired to write this game?
Oh, the inspiration is from the things I love, like TV shows like Doctor Who, Twilight Zone, X-Files, all these kind of sci-fi shows. And I've been watching them since I was a kid. And the style of the game comes also from games from my childhood when I used to play Monkey Island and Day of the Tentacle, Maniac Mansion, Zack McCracken, all these kind of games. Mm-hmm.
Very nice, very nice. And you mentioned before that you were like in an engineering position. So why would you make that switch from engineering to, starting your own company to, that makes video games? How were you able to make that transition?
Well, engineering is a very stressful field, and it demands a lot. Well, actually, making a game demands a lot also, but I'm starting to realize that now. But engineering is very ungrateful. It's like you work in something for 15 years and it's always complaints, it's always bad mood, it's always fighting against people. It's a really complicated job and really stressful. And I don't know, I had this thought that why spend most of my day doing something I don't like instead of doing something I actually enjoy? Or since I'm going to spend the whole day in the office, at least let's do something I like or something I enjoy or something that I will feel, let's say, more proud of it at the end of the way.
That's very fair and very inspiring as well. I'm sure it must have been scary to quit your job and to start something new. You probably had no idea how it's going to turn out.
Well, I'm a person that I'm really straightforward. So I always think that if you think something too much, you're going to end up not doing it. So when I had this idea, it was like I went for it right away. So I spent maybe 4 months between jobs, and I was making this story. And at first I had my doubts, thinking, come on, you never wrote anything, so why this is going to be interesting to someone? But then I started like changing it and polishing it and having a lot of great ideas. I think when I started to be less stressed, I could think more clearly and have more creative thoughts. And that helped me to make this story. And when I read it, and then I told this story to some of my friends without telling them that I wrote it. And I say, hey, what do you think about this and stuff? And they really like it. And I love to see how I tricked them into thinking that something was going to happen, but it was not. And they really liked the ending and stuff. So I said, yeah, let's go forward. I hired a small team and I started to time how much each task would take and make let's say an approach of how much money this would cost to get to the end. And I could afford it, barely, but I could afford it. So I decided to go for it.
Very nice. Very nice. We look forward to seeing what you and your company can do, as well as 3 Minutes to Midnight. Now, going back to 3 Minutes to Midnight, being a point-and-click adventure, are there any point-and-click adventure games that you maybe played when you were a kid, or just over the years that you really enjoyed, that really helped inspire 3 Minutes to Midnight as well?
Yeah, I have to say that I played almost all of them because I was lucky enough to have my dad that used to bring me games like every week when I was a kid, and I played them all. But the ones I enjoy more, and I actually can replay them like 100 times, is the ones from LucasArts, and the ones from Serra also. But I realized I don't have the same patience I used to have when I was a kid with the Serra games, because you get killed so often that I don't know, it bothers me so much now. So
I think that is something that can be surprising. You go through a game as a kid and you didn't have any trouble, but going through it now and as an adult, it's like, how in the world did I do this as a kid?
Yeah, I think that things were easier when you were a kid. You had nothing else to do that play games and just be a kid. So now you have obligations and stuff, and the soon you spend too much time on a game and you realize, because when you're playing the game, you don't realize how much time you're spending on it. But when they kill you, it's like back to reality. And then all these thoughts of an adult, all the responsibilities kick back, and then you just stop playing. Okay?
Oh yeah, I can also agree to that. Now, you've mentioned, it seems like you're a gamer yourself and you grew up a gamer thanks to your dad. Do you still play games today?
I do play games, but very rarely. I can say that the last game I finished like completely was Thimbleweed Park from Ron Gilbert. And I played a little bit Sea of Thieves, but I have not enough time to even customize my ship. So it's pointless. Everybody kicks my ass there, and I don't play anymore.
Gotcha. I mean, time can be very challenging at times. I do this podcast, quite often, probably on a weekly basis, and the games I have to play for the show, I still don't even have time to do that a lot of times. So I certainly understand, time is hard to come by these days.
Yeah, and I also try to spend every moment I can on the game. I try to spend every second I can on the conversations. Every sentence, I want to make it perfect. I'm taking a lot of care in every detail, and also is doing my team, because now I'm more in charge of the script and conversation and managing everything. But all the people who's working here, the character artist, the environment artist, programmer, game designer, everybody's working really hard. So the game, I think, is going to be awesome. It starts to look awesome because until a couple of weeks ago, we didn't had enough to let's say see it moving. For example, we've been working on it for more than a year now, like 1 year and a half, because we are in April and we started beginning of December 2016, and just recently Betty started moving around the screen, and we saw her talk and interacting with NPCs and seeing the sentences on the screen, and it's a very exciting moment, and we really think it's going to be a really good game.
So can you talk about that? This is pretty much your baby. You've seen it from beginning to where it is now. So what is that journey like, going from I quit my job, starting this company with this idea that I have, to now you're actually seeing the results after a year and a half later?
It's really exciting. The word is exciting because during all this time, your emotions is a little bit like a roller coaster. Some days you feel a bit down and you think you have so many issues, so many problems, and you don't see the solution for them at this point. And then you think, oh, come on, you never done a game, you're not going to be able to pull this off, and things like that. And then other days you see that the problems you had, you were able to solve them. The team behind you can also solve them and keep moving forward. And even we have a little setbacks, let's call it, we keep moving forward. And we keep moving forward. The game is better and better every day. The environments look awesome. Soon, I guess in a couple of weeks or something, we will be able to update the screenshots we have on the website and on social media. And I think people who've seen them and see the new ones will be able to see the progress we've been doing in the past few months, because we just hang those pictures around February, and in a couple of months things change a lot.
Oh, that's great! I can't wait to see the new screenshots, because I like the way it looked before even. So now I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm sure I'll let you know.
Well, thank you very much. Now, you guys have now announced on your social media that you will be at E3. Do you guys have any special plans for E3 this year?
Well, the main plan is to be able to get in there and show our game to the media, and if we don't have any issues there, that would be enough for us, because it's been challenging. It's our first event, and probably it's going to be the only event we will be able to afford for 2018.
Okay.
And we wanted to make let's say the biggest one. Maybe it's not the most appropriate for an indie developer, but it's the one that has more exposure. So we wanted to be there. It's really expensive for us. We didn't expect it was going to be that much.
Yeah.
I have to say it was really surprising when we were aware of the price, because I searched on the internet to try to find out how much this thing would cost, and the information I could find, I can tell you, was wrong, because it's way more. And now we're working on preparing our stand, because our stand is going to be simple, but we want to have at least a couple of computers so people can play the demo, that we are also working on it, and we are working really hard and against the clock to have it ready for the E3. And we are also preparing a little bit, to show maybe some roll-ups with the main characters, and have a bit of even small decoration, a TV screen to show a little teaser of the game or something, a little gameplay. So that's what we're doing right now, and those are our plans for the E3.
Very nice. We were planning on being at E3, but some things got in the way, so we won't be there this year. But we wish you guys, I hope everything works out and it's a huge hit at E3, and we look forward to seeing any and all the updates about 3 Minutes to Midnight up and coming in, even into E3.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Now, with the game 3 Minutes to Midnight, can we expect it only on PC, or will it be expanded to other, like the consoles as well?
Okay, I can tell you right now that it's for sure is going to be on PC, Mac, and Linux.
Okay.
And we are working really hard to contact Xbox and Nintendo and Sony to get the development kits and try to bring the game to those platforms. Since we are developing the game in Unity, that shouldn't be a problem for us to bring it to the platforms. The major issue is that these companies allow us to bring it to them, because since it's our first game, we realized from the first contacts we had from them that they feel more comfortable with a company that already has a game in the market and the name they already know, and they can check what they do. Mm-hmm. But we are like in contact, like not daily, but every couple of weeks we tell them about updates, and we keep moving like little steps forward, which make us think that we will be able to bring it to those platforms, to the Switch, to the Xbox, and the PS4.
Okay, well, I hope you guys make it on those platforms as well. But I'm sure those out there who have a PC, they don't need like some super monster gaming PC to run it either, right?
No, we are trying to make it work in i3 or even less. And also when we tested in a computer with Intel Core Duo with I think it's 2 GHz with 4 gigabyte RAM.
Okay.
So it's not a monster. It's not a monster. We will have some post processing on the game, okay, and we still have to test how much memory and how much resources that's going to take. But we will make it like playable from the lowest computer as we can without losing the quality that we are preparing for this game.
Okay, awesome. Glad to hear. I mean, I am able to run just about anything, but I'm sure all those out there who maybe are scared of trying to get into gaming PC, they can rest assured they can enjoy this game still.
Yeah, I think so.
So, can you talk about what you do on a daily basis? Starting up a new company from that point to what you do now. What do you do on a daily basis to try and get an image of someone who may be getting into this? What you do on a daily basis? Okay,
in a daily basis, we have very different sections in the company. So, for example, I control a little bit the background environment artist, how he's working on the scenarios. Mm-hmm. Like maybe just giving them suggestions and like, okay, let's do this, explaining a little bit the puzzle that is going to happen in that scene, and telling him like, okay, go this way, go that way, a little bit, but mostly it comes from his head. He's really creative. I think he's one of the best artists I've seen doing backgrounds in these kind of games. He has a lot of experience. I don't know if you know him. He's David Puerta. He worked in games like Broken Sword, Yesterday, Origins, and games like this.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I'm really fascinated by, well, everybody in the team loves the work he does. So he doesn't need much guidance, let's say. Just taking consideration that this puzzle needs these items and needs these things here, and this should be closer, this should be farther. A bit of orientation, but not a lot. Mm-hmm. And then I also have a character artist with Danny Peña, sorry. He's doing all the characters for the game, like every single one of them. He also helped me at the beginning to do the early concepts for the environments. Mm-hmm. He's doing a titanic work on this project, and every single character you will see in this game and the personality that I wrote, and I wanted to show it, reflects it on a character. He's achieving this perfectly. So that job is that part. So I just go sometimes around their table to see how the concepts and the characters are advancing. But also, like with David, I barely have to tell them anything. Just, okay, I want this to be a woman this age, maybe give them some references, give them the character sheet where they can see the personality I want for the character, but the rest come from them. Then I have Jordi, who is game designer, and he's helping me with the puzzles. At this point, we are not talking puzzles anymore, but we spent since, let's say, November last year fixing the puzzles I already designed, because I was designing some puzzles from February to August last year, and I almost had them all, but I was not convinced of those puzzles. Because it was at the same time I started to see these videos where people complained about that point-and-click games puzzles make no sense, and I realized some of my puzzles made no sense. They were funny, but no sense at all. So I decided to hire this game designer, Jordi Martin, and he's helping me. Like, we talk every single puzzle, we kept the good ones, we polish the not so bad ones, and then some of them we completely redesign and drop them and think of new ones. And I'm really happy with the outcome. The puzzles are going to be amazing, and every single one of them makes sense. Every single one of them has a hint not too obvious, but a hint. And they have proper feedback, so you will know when you're doing something wrong. You will hear, of course, sometimes that I cannot do that. It's very typical on these kind of games. But when you're doing something that it makes sense that thing should work, you will have an appropriate feedback that why that thing doesn't work. So that's one thing we are working really hard. Right now, I'm just supervising with Jordi the dialogues, because we are working on the demo mainly. So all the team is working on the demo right now. So we are supervising the text and how those texts are introduced into Unity, and how we are going to be able to export those texts in Excel format, so we can have all the subtitles the game is going to be, because it's going to be available in 16 languages. And also we are splitting each sentence in the same way it's going to be shown on the screen, so the voice actors can record the audio files according to what the player is going to see on the screen. And then I have Julen. Julen is really stressed right now because time is running out. We're working on the demo. He's programming everything, and we are dealing with a lot of setbacks that we were not counting on. Initially, we were expecting to have the demo ready at the beginning of the month, and it's not ready yet. But it's because it's the first time we make a game, so some people have a lot of experience on dealing with these kind of things, but we don't. So we have to find the problem, see how to fix it, and fix it. And these things are taking a little of our time. And then I have Jorge. Jorge is doing the animations of the characters, and he's doing a really good job. I don't know if you've been able to see the teaser we have in YouTube, but the teaser shows a little bit how the animations of our game are going to be.
Awesome. Because I really enjoyed the teaser a lot. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of classic adventure point and click games that were like way back in the 90s, just an updated look.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to achieve. And you have to think that when we were doing the teaser, we just wanted to create something, let's say, really quick, because it wasn't quick to make, but to have something soon enough to start promoting the game, because the game can be awesome, but if nobody knows about it, it's going to be a fail. So we want to have that to show how the art is going to be, that is going to have voices, that is going to have subtitles, that how the animations are going to be, the kind of humor that it's going to have. And also we wanted to use it to be able to gather some critics, early critics, before we get into deep in the process. Maybe people see some things they don't like. I have to say that somebody complained about the mouth moving not along with the voice, and somebody was really pissed off about that. And it's something that we plan to improve. I don't know if for the demo, but for the final game for sure.
Awesome. So I know you've talked about having setbacks and things like that. Do you have maybe an estimate of when we can expect the demo?
I don't want to make another approach because I said late April, and we're not. I'm not sure it's going to be, maybe, but I think that maybe by the end of April we will have it finished, but we'll still have to test it. So if we have any other setback, probably the demo is not going to be available until after the E3. We will have it for the E3, we will show it there, and then we will make it available to everyone for free after the E3.
Okay. Well, I look forward to playing the demo when it comes released. Now, Jan, we're going to start wrapping up here in a little bit, but I do want to ask you, do you have any advice or anyone who may be looking to do what you do, start maybe a game company or start making a game, but they're just not sure yet, what helped you make that jump, and what advice do you have for anyone who might be looking into doing what you do now?
Okay, the best advice I could give, I think, is that before doing anything, like before hiring anyone, before starting spending money, somebody who wants to make a game should sit down, write down everything he or she wants to do, and try to make an estimate of time and money each step would take. See if they can afford that in time and in money. If they can't, they should start cutting things and put them in a wish list. Let's say, okay, if we go really well, we can also add some of these features. If not, if I have to cut all these, will I still have a very good game or something that people will be interested in it? And if the answer is yes, then start making that plan go forward. But planning is really important in this kind of business. I think every mistake you make, let's say you don't have a scenario well defined, what's going to happen there, what can happen to you that you spend 2 weeks painting a scenario and then you forgot something and you have to drop it and make it all over and then waste 2 weeks with the cost and time that will take. So it's really important to have everything defined, everything written down.
Well, thank you very much. All
right,
awesome. I think that's great advice because game design it's not easy and it can take up a lot of your time if you're not careful with it. Well, for those of you who may not know how to get updates about the game, how to find you on social media, where can they look to find updates about the game and about you, Jan, and the company?
Well, we post most of our updates in Twitter in our Scarecrows at Scarecrows. And we also have our website, which is scarecrow-studio.com. And then we have our Steam page where they can find us by 3 minutes to midnight.
Thank you very much, Jan. It's been a pleasure and it's been a lot of fun. Hopefully we can have you on again sometime with my co-host who can join me after the game comes out. How's that sound?
It sounds awesome. I would love to, and so just ring me anytime. I will make time for you guys. And it was very, very nice to talk with you today.
Oh, no problem. Anytime, Jan. Anytime you want to talk, just let me know. We're always available.
Okay, it sounds great.
All right, guys. Everyone out there, as always, have a rad day.